If you're a Texas property owner, I'm sure that you are just like me in understanding that year over year, our property taxes are getting more and more out of control. The good news for us is that we do have some things that we can do to make sure that our property taxes stay as low as possible. In this video, we're going to talk about why it is so important for you to make sure that you have your homestead exemption on your appraisal district account. And we're going to also talk about how to protest your property taxes every single year so that you're not paying more than your fair share in property taxes. And if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Stacey Russell, your Northwest Houston realtor, educating buyers, sellers, and investors on all things real estate. If you're not already a member of my community, I would love for you to go and hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on all of the videos I post for buyers, sellers, and investors, as well as consumer education videos just like this one. So before we get into the details, I just have to put out this disclaimer that I am a realtor. I am in no way, shape, or form a property tax expert or a property tax attorney or lawyer. So I'm going to give you some information here to help you better understand if you have a case to protest your property taxes. And all of this is based off of what I have learned over the past several years of being in real estate. However, if you have further questions, I'm always going to encourage you to put them in the comments below. However, there are going to be some times where I may not be able to be the person to answer that question for you, and I may direct you to a property tax expert, lawyer, or attorney. So first, I want to start off by saying that the number one way that you're going to be able to reduce your taxes year over year is to make sure that you have your homestead exemption applied to your property. Your homestead exemption does a couple of things, but when we are specifically talking about property taxes, what it does is make sure that it puts a cap on the amount that you are allowed to be taxed in any given year. If you don't have homestead exemption applied, there is no cap, and your appraised value and market value can skyrocket, causing you to pay more money in taxes and in turn also directly impacting your neighbors in your community. And you may be wondering how you not having your homestead exemption applied to your account is directly impacting your neighbors. And basically, this has to do with the way that the appraisal district calculates market value, appraised value, and the amount of property taxes that you pay every year. So in April of every year, you should get a letter in the mail that is for the current year's notice of appraised value. And this letter has a lot of different information on it. It is going to be specific to your property, and it's going to have information on your market value and your appraised value. It's also going to give you information on a website of where to go if you would like to file a protest online. And then it's going to give you an iFile number that is going to be associated with your account. The last piece of information on this notice of appraised value is going to be your deadline to file your property tax protest. So when it comes to appraisal districts in Texas, there are a couple of very important things that you need to remember. The first being that appraisal districts have absolutely no idea how much a home is actually worth. Texas is a non-disclosure state, and unless you voluntarily give the appraisal district the amount that you paid for your home, whether that be a year ago or 50 years ago, they do not have access to any of the sold prices or terms of any home in the state of Texas. The second thing to remember is that the appraisal district has no idea what the inside of your home looks like. So even if you have been a wonderful homeowner and you're making sure that you're taking care of maintenance items and you are repairing and updating and replacing items in your home, it doesn't matter. They have no idea what the inside of your home looks like. And when it comes to protesting your property taxes, I want you to have the mentality that your home is the worst home in the neighborhood, because ultimately that's what's going to help save you money. So when you get your notice of appraised value in the mail, you're going to see your market value and your appraised value. So the appraisal district actually calculates your market value and your appraised value based off of sold comparable properties from the previous year. They look at all of the comps, and then they find the median value of both the market value and the appraised value, and that is where they get your information. So now let's talk about the steps that we need to take in order to file a property tax protest. The first step is going to be finding information on comparable properties that have sold in the previous year. And this is where a realtor can help you. A realtor will be able to run a free comparative market analysis, or a CMA for short, that is going to look for comparable properties similar to yours. A comparable property is going to be an apples to apples comparison on your home based on the number of bedrooms, bathrooms. It's also going to give a range of plus or minus 10% on the lot size and the square footage of the home. And then you're going to have a 10-year range based off of the year built. So I go 5 years in each direction, giving you that 10-year span. Not only that, but good comps are going to be neighborhood specific, as we know that home values can change depending on where you are in any given area. So now the second step to filing a property tax protest is going to be to take the information from the comparable market analysis. You're going to take each individual property that's a comparable in that report, and you're going to plug that information into the appraisal district. So you'll type in the address, and then the appraisal district is going to show you the current market value and appraised value for the current year. We're going to want to create a spreadsheet that's got that information based off of the previous year and the current year. So whenever I create the spreadsheet for my clients, I've got all of the comparables on one side, and then I've got 2023 market value, 2023 appraised value, 2024 market value, and 2024 appraised value. And then I also have one other column that shows if a homestead exemption has been applied to that property. Once I have all of that information plugged in, I will then go into my spreadsheet and sort from A to Z and find the median value of each of those fields. Once I've found the median market and appraised values for both 2023 and 2024, I'm then going to type my address in or reference my notice of appraised value letter that I received in the mail and compare those numbers to what the appraisal district is saying that my market value and appraised value is for the current year. When you're looking at this data, you're going to find some interesting information. Not only are you going to be able to see the comparable properties that don't have homestead exemption applied and how that is increasing everybody's property taxes, but you're also going to see how much your market value has changed year over year and also how much your appraised value has changed year over year. So your next step is going to be to actually file your property tax protest. So you're going to go to your appraisal district's website, and you'll probably see somewhere where it says protest your taxes, or you can use the information that was on your notice of appraised value. So you'll go to that website, and it's probably going to make you sign in or create a username and password if it's the first time that you've been to the website. Once you're logged in, it'll take you to your account where you can start the process of filing a protest. Now, there are a lot of different options when it comes to filing a protest. You have an option to I-settle or have a formal hearing in front of a full 3-panel appraisal review board or a single panel appraisal review board. The I-settle process is essentially giving you a way to tell the appraisal district what you believe that your home is worth and how much you believe that you should be taxed. Personally, I don't recommend this option because there's not a whole lot that goes into proving that your property taxes should be lowered. However, the I-settle process could be a good option for somebody who just doesn't have a ton of time to go and protest their property taxes in person, or it could be a really good option for somebody who can clearly see that there is a huge difference between the amount that they are being taxed and what the median appraised value is being taxed on comps. If you decide that I-settle is not the route that you want to go down, you would rather file a formal property tax protest, then you're going to need to go to the next page. And from there, it's going to ask you the reason for your property tax protest. And I want you to notice also that if you scroll down a little bit, it's going to ask you if your home has sold within the past 2 years, how much money did you pay for your home? This is one of the many ways that the appraisal district tries to get information about sold data. They can ask for it, and it is your opinion to give it to them. However, you do not have to put anything in that box. And so I'm going to recommend that you put a big fat 0. From there, it's going to ask you how you would like to meet your appraisal review board panel. And you actually have 3 different options. So the first option is to meet online via Zoom in front of the appraisal review board. The other 2 options include meeting in person, but you have the option to meet a full appraisal review board of 3 people, or you can opt in to only seeing 1 person on the appraisal review board. You'll then go ahead and submit your property tax protest, and then also select a delivery method for how you would like to be reminded of your protest. Your next step is going to be to gather data and documentation that can prove to the appraisal review board that your property taxes should be lowered. There are a few different things that you can put into this file. The first being the comparative market analysis that your realtor gave you at the very beginning of this process. The only thing that I am going to recommend that you do is make sure that you go through and cross out any of the sold price information so that the appraisal district does not know what your neighbors paid for their home. The next piece of documentation that you're going to need are pictures. Anything and everything on the interior or exterior of your home that you can think of to decrease the value of your home, I want you to take a picture of it and add it to your file. And another really important piece of information that I suggest that you include in this file is to get quotes from contractors. Your goal with these quotes is to show the appraisal review board that you have so much deferred maintenance on your home that it's going to take you just a ton of time and money to be able to get your home anywhere close to where they are appraising it. So the last thing that I want to touch on is what to expect when you attend your appraisal review board hearing. Appraisal review board hearings are actually open to the public, so there may be one or more people in there with you as you are protesting your property taxes. You may be asked to submit your documentation virtually, or you may be asked to print copies for the appraisal review board. So just make sure that you come prepared and with the amount of copies that you need in order to make your case. Remember to be nice. The appraisal review board are dealing with people who are angry about their taxes going up. And so you're going to catch more flies with honey than you do with anything else. So make sure that you're being nice to them and thank them for their time. Stick to the facts and don't get emotional. I hope this information was helpful to you. And I hope that after watching this video, you understand the importance of having a homestead exemption applied to your account and what you can do every single year in order to keep your property taxes low. Please let me know if you have any questions about filing a protest. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.